Happy Friday, y'all. It's the final day of the NASCAR offseason. Cars are on track tomorrow, and then Sunday night, the Clash at the Coliseum returns. Many teams have revealed new paint schemes, new sponsors for this upcoming season. So today, I figured we'd take a look at many of these new livery designs, and I'll just give you guys my thoughts. I'm no professional, I'm not a designer, I'm no artiste, but I know what I like, usually. Y'all can agree with me or disagree with me in the comments below. Before we get started though, I actually have a special announcement today as well. I've been developing some new content ideas this offseason. Take a look.
Has this ever happened to you? I'm ready for my evening jog, but there are just too many great racing podcasts to choose from. Well, I have the solution. Introducing yet another racing podcast, the Out of the Groove Power Hour, presented by Circle B Diecast. Oh yeah! Featuring NASCAR driver Brennan Poole and tall internet guy Eric Estepp as they catch up with the stars of stock car racing. I used to hate working out, but thanks to Power Hour, I'm training like the best drivers in the world. I used to stay up all night watching mindless TikToks, but now I'm up all night watching intellectually stimulating episodes of Power Hour. I used to drive to work in silence. But thanks to Power Hour, I hope I never reach my destination. Power Hour changed their lives, and it will change yours too. Power Hour. Available on all major podcast platforms.
Dude, there's no way we can air that.
That's right, NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Brennan Poole and I are starting a podcast. It's not going to be every single week, but we've got some exciting guests lined up. We want to keep it open to debate, discussion. We're going to answer fan questions every show. So if you're into podcasts, if you want something to listen to or watch, because there will also be a video version on YouTube on this channel, I hope you guys check out Power Hour. Again, the first episode will launch February 14th, Valentine's Day. There's love in the air. I hope you guys love what we've been working on. But now let's look at some paint schemes. I've created a tier list, as you can see, although I've customized it a bit. There's the groovy tier. Out of the Groove, that is the best of the best. The next tier is glad they tried something new. You know, there are a lot of brands that have been in NASCAR a long time. We've gotten used to seeing one sort of scheme on the track. This year, maybe they tried something different and it came out good. Below that, we've got good, but we've seen it before. That's kind of the exact opposite, a tried and true scheme that still stands the test of time, but isn't as unique or creative as maybe we were hoping for. Then there's simply gets the job done. Means exactly what it says. And then the final category is reserved for paint schemes that just don't really do it for me, but I can at least understand why some people may be a fan. I must admit, I've looked at most of these schemes already, and I haven't seen any that are just objectively bad. Like, there are some that aren't as good as others, in my opinion, but I haven't seen any true stinkers, so I'm gonna keep that category at the bottom of this tier list for now. Now that we've established the ground rules, let's get started. First up, Corey LaJoie, Celsius. You can see what they're doing here. Ever since Spire Motorsports moved into what was formerly the Alan Kulwicki shop, they adopted the number 7. They're clearly inspired by Kulwicki's championship season when he drove the white and orange Hooters car. We've seen Schluter systems, white and orange with flames. This one's a little more simple, but my head immediately goes towards those iconic Kulwicki schemes, so it gets the job done. It does exactly what Spire is trying to do. Brad Keselowski's revealed some cool schemes. I love this Orange Kings Hawaiian car. I don't think it's too different though from the scheme he ran a few times last year, so I'm going to put it in the good, but we've seen it before category. The gold or copper or bronze trim there, is that new? I don't recall. I like it though. I want to give this scheme a mention, even though I don't think it's going to race this year, but the Ken Block tribute scheme that the team ran at Phoenix for that test last week, I have to put it on here. Groovy tier, a great sentiment, amazing tribute, also just a beautiful paint scheme. I love the colors. I love the checkered flag, hazy in the backdrop, the nice fine details, the little American flag, the name in the rear window, just a great looking paint scheme. RFK did not have to go this hard for a test car, but they did, and they deserve to be applauded for it. So groovy tier. This one's new. Last year, the Castrol cars were green and red, and I really liked them, but I kind of like these too. A little darker, a little edgier, the DC version of last year's scheme. But I like it. I'm glad they tried something a little new. I really liked last year's schemes, the Christmas colors. But this one still works. I applaud the team for being bold. All right, I know he's just a part-time driver. I know Carvana has seen better days. But Jimmy Johnson's Daytona 500 scheme looks pretty dope. I like it. The light blue streaks on the front and on the side just accentuate the curves of the next gen car. I have to choose my words carefully here. I also like the yellow on the front and the yellow roof number. Blue and yellow, I'm a sucker for that color combo. Putting this thing in groovy tier. Oh my, Tyler Reddick with his new team and a new car, a new manufacturer, but Money Lion is back and they are bringing some heat. The light blue to seafoam green gradient is outstanding. The dark black on the hood and everywhere else to help contrast that. This is a very modern looking race car. I think I got to put it in groovy tier as well. I'm a big fan of the blue outline on the front nose there. That ties this whole thing together. We looked at Jimmy Johnson's scheme. Now let's look at the other Legacy Motor Club schemes. This one for Noah Gregson looks fine, looks good. I don't know. I think this one just gets the job done. Not a bad scheme by any means, but the orange roof number, Richard. The 43, sponsored by Allegiant, doesn't have an orange roof number. I still don't love this car. It looks good. I do like it. I was almost going to put it in the glad they tried something new category, but then I remembered I liked last year's Allegiant sponsored car design a little bit better. This one's still pretty good, but I think I'm just going to put it in the same category as his teammate. Let's look at some Trackhouse schemes. Last year, they stole the show. Let's start with Ross Chastain. Oh, that is blue. That is bright. Do I have sunglasses here? I need those like blue light filter glasses that you're supposed to wear when you're in front of a computer screen because this is blue. It is a pretty blue though, and I like the arrows going every sorts of different directions there on the side. Once again, a very modern scheme, something Trackhouse seems to be known for at this point. They're pushing the envelope. I'm gonna put this one in groovy tier. I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die. I like it. Oh my, they made it better and they kept the little watermelon peeking through. This was one of my favorite schemes last season, but they've changed it a bit. Is that a reflective yellow door number I see? Trackhouse, you maniac. Groovy tier. Somehow they took a scheme that was great last year. I think it was in my top 10 favorite schemes of the season, and I think they made it a little better. Trackhouse, You've done it again, you! I love that they're able to insert some of, Ross Chastain's personal brand on top of, obviously, the company that's paying a lot of money to sponsor. Like, that's awesome. One more Chastain car I want to look at. Kubota car looks really good. I think this is the same scheme, though, that he raced a few times at the end of last season. So it's good, but it's a textbook. We've seen it before. On that note, I want to bring up Austin Cindric's discount tire car. Always one of my favorite schemes. It's very simple, but I just like it. Good. We've seen it before. I'm glad it's back. Don't fix what isn't broken. I meant to do both RFK cars at the same time. Let's go back. Chris Buescher, the 17. Here's a new sponsor. I like the pink. Roush, like Trackhouse, apparently is obsessed with the reflective door numbers. And, they work on some schemes better than others. This one, there's not a whole lot to it. It looks good. I mean, it gets the job done. Any of these, drug companies, they got to put like the actual name of the drug. They've got to add like disclaimers. It's a little busy, but the colors look nice. The design on the side looks good. So yeah, it's fine. Ooh, the Fastenal car. Again, very blue. I like the little bright spots. Is that on purpose? I think so. I need to see this one on the actual racetrack, see how bright the blue really is. I like the newly redesigned 17. I'm glad they tried something new. I like the old Fastenal cars, but this one has my attention. Ooh, Martin Truex Jr. has a new Bass Pro Shop scheme. The black and gray muted camo colors and design. I need to see this one in person as well. That gray, is that going to be more of a silver, more reflective, or is it going to be kind of dull? I like the orange and yellow stripe. This is kind of sick. It's growing on me just as I'm watching it. Just looking at it here, at first glance, I wasn't so sure. It feels a little busy, but it's just that texture. It's just that camo, or I don't know what that is. Like a topographical map or something. Whatever that design is underneath all the busyness. I like it. If the gray is reflective at all, this is going into groovy tier. But for now, I think I'll just say I'm glad they tried something new. Bass Pro Shops not sitting on their hands. I saw another Bass Pro Shops card the other day. Yes, here it is. Austin Dillon's. This one's kind of a departure from what we've seen recently. The dark green being the base color instead of black. I think I just like that they tried something new. I'm not sure this is my favorite Bass Pro Shops car in the world, but it's unique. And compared to Interstate Batteries putting the same scheme on 4 different drivers this season, I appreciate Bass Pro trying to make each scheme a little more unique. So yeah, I'm glad they tried something new. Speaking of new, Kyle Busch, now with Richard Childress Racing in the 8. The first scheme they revealed was this Cheddar's car. I love Cheddar's. I love that they're increasing their involvement with RCR this year, but I don't love this paint scheme. I'll just be honest. You know what it is, I think? I don't like that they used a real photo of croissants and put that on the side of the car. I think I preferred last year's where it was just like a colorful outline of croissants that they patterned across the side of the car. I like when graphics or images are more stylized. Maybe that's just me, and I'm sure I can find examples of real photos on race cars that I really like, but I think I prefer when they're stylized. I gotta put this in the not for me category. I can see why other people might like it. It's an okay scheme, just not really for me. This scheme, on the other hand, looks fantastic. Again, I need to see this in person. I can't tell if the gold is actually going to be shiny, but even if it's not, it looks pretty good. The contrast from the black to the lighter colors is really sharp, really clean, and I love oversized logos on the hood, on the side. This scheme checks those boxes. Groovy. I'll put this in Groovy tier, and that's not a pun considering who the sponsor is. The net spend car, I like the colors a lot. I don't like the white hood, and I don't really like that the logo on the side is, wrapped in a white box, if you will. It's kind of intrusive. I wish they'd found a way to just put their logo straight up on the blue or the orange without having to add the white. It's fine. It gets the job done. I like the colors at least. This rendering looks outstanding. I need to see this car in person. For now, though, I'm glad BetMGM tried something new. This scheme looks really good in this rendering, at least. Again, oversized logos. I like that. All right, let's talk about Chase Elliott. New Napa scheme. Yellow bumper aside, it's weird because he's not a rookie. I like the yellow roof number. I like how the headlights are outlined on the front nose. And I like that on the side, the Napa logo, there's sort of like an arrow next to it, almost pointing towards the number 9. I don't know if that's what they were going for explicitly, but that's how it came out, and I think it looks really good. So I'm going to put this in the glad they tried something new. I've liked his Napa schemes in recent years, but this might be my favorite. I feel like every year Elliott's Napa car is like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. This one might be an 8.5. I wish I could say the same for his Hooters car. I know a lot of people really like this scheme. I already talked about this a little bit on my show, but I just love last year so much more. The white with the light blue sort of gradient or details, especially coming up on the side of the car from the side skirt. Last year's car looked so good. To me, that's Hooters. That's a classic sponsor, a classic logo, reimagined for a modern audience. Going back to the all black, the night owl, that's cool, but I don't know. I just don't like it. 40th anniversary, that's cool. There's too many words on the hood, on the side. I like the owl. I'm glad the owl's on the car. I feel like there needs to be more orange on the front, like down by the grill. The fact that there's just that one blue stripe, it just feels a little incomplete. I don't know. Not for me. I get why some people like it. I'm sorry. Denny Hamlin, it looks like they're bringing back basically the same scheme as last year. This is a good one. We've seen it before, but it is a good one. I'm fine with them keeping it this way. Same thing with Bell's Ream car. This looks basically the same as his Ream cars of previous seasons, although I wish there was something to fill that space above the rear wheels. That just feels vacant, very vacant, but still it's good. We've seen it before. They fuse the Ream and DeWalt logos to make this scheme. I don't particularly like it, but I guess when you have two companies that both want to sponsor the Daytona 500, you do what you gotta do, so it gets the job done. The plain DeWalt car, though, is still really, really good. I'm glad they tried something new. At some point, I think I would like them to just pick one DeWalt design and kind of stick with it for a few years, but they keep changing it and they keep delivering great looking schemes. I mean, it's hard not to make the black and yellow look great. So yeah, glad they tried something new, I guess. Ryan Preece, new driver of the 41, same old red and black and white Haas colors. It looks good. I'm not sure if we've ever actually seen this specific paint scheme before, but it feels like we have. So I'm going to say good, but we've seen it before. He's bringing over United Rentals as a sponsor. This scheme looks fine. I mean, it's good. Gets the job done. I think this is the perfect definition of getting the job done. The logo's easy to read. The color scheme is accurate. There is a design there, but it's not overbearing. It's not distracting. It's nice. Oh, gosh. They tried something new for William Byron this year. I wasn't a huge fan of last year's Raptor scheme. It grew on me a bit as the year went on once you got to see it up close and you could really appreciate the texture and some of the more intricate design elements. Still didn't love it. They've added a lot more white to this year's car, but I don't know. Something about this car just isn't quite doing it. Now it looks incomplete. This looks like when Chase Elliott wrecked his car at Darlington and they had to wheel out the all-white backup and attach as many decals as possible, but they couldn't get it all the way back to how it's supposed to look. It looks like that, which, I mean, it's not bad. It gets the job done. I can't say I'm glad they tried something new because I'm not sure I like this one more than last year's, to be quite honest. Some of y'all might disagree, but it's fine. The Sunny D car is back and it's changed. It's grown up. My son is turning into a man before my very eyes. It looks good. I really like the side of this car. You got the Sunny D bottle kind of in the way, in my opinion, but the like yellow and blue streaks, almost like rays of sunlight, Sunny D. Big fan of that change. I think the hood design looks really cool as well. All the rays focusing on the D. Someone's going to clip that out of context. I think the scheme looks as good as the other Sunny D schemes, but the front nose does not look as good as the one sitting behind me. That's just me. So I'm going to put this in groovy tier, but I'm gonna like kind of just sneak it in there at the bottom. Like it's probably like at the tail end of groovy tier, in my opinion. I like this Mahindra scheme a lot. I can't exactly tell you why. I mean, it's very similar to last year's, the red and the black. I like all the details on the hood. Again, trying to like accentuate body definition and details that actually isn't there. It's kind of an optical illusion, but I appreciate it. I like the dirt, the grit and grime coming up off the side skirts. I think that's new this year. It's a tractor company. It's supposed to be rough, rugged. I think it's great. The theming is good. The colors are great. The little details are fun. Groovy. I'll put this in groovy tier. Maybe y'all are surprised to hear that, but I like this scheme. We've only got a few more. Another Denny Hamlin car. I forgot about this one earlier. Sport Clips. Look at this. This is a pretty picture. Looks a little different than in years past, but it looks really sleek, really modern. The reflective red 11. I think that's going to pop. I'll put this in the glad they tried something new category. This looks clean. Joey Logano. This scheme was announced months ago. I forgot about it, but yeah, some white on the 22. I like it. I'm glad they tried something new, I think. I don't know. I feel like I have to see this one in person, but it's a good start. The final scheme we're going to look at today, and I know there's probably a few we missed out there, and I apologize for that, but these are the ones that I wanted to focus on today. The final scheme that we have to rank. I know. Knocked you out of your seat, huh? Something completely wild and different. No, it's the same. Are there any changes? If you're a hardcore Kyle Larson fan, you'll probably notice, oh, that stripe is slightly shorter, or the red is a slightly different tint, but looks the same. I do appreciate in this day and age where drivers have 4, 5, 6 different primary schemes throughout the season, I do appreciate the consistency. Growing up, you always knew Dale Jr. was going to be in the red Budweiser car, and the scheme would change a bit from year to year, and occasionally they'd have special one-off races, but overall it was fairly consistent. You knew Dale Earnhardt was going to be in the black Goodwrench Chevrolet. Jeff Gordon was always going to have some bright blue and red and yellow covers on his DuPont Chevys. Something about the consistent HendrickCars.com paint scheme, and obviously it has a long historical meaning, a personal meaning to Rick Hendrick, the team owner. There's something kind of unique now about it in this modern age. So I'll put it in the good, but we've seen it before. It's becoming a huge part of Kyle Larson's brand, and Larson's one of the best drivers in the Cup Series and still fairly young. It's good for him to establish a brand early on. So I can't fault them for not changing it. I thought I was done, and then I just saw this scheme on Twitter. I have to add it. I think it was just revealed. But check this out from JTG Doherty. Velveeta, the cheese. Look, this car. It's beautiful. Painted side skirts. It's covered from head to toe in melty, gooey cheese. What's not to love? Wait a minute. Am I saying this right? Look at the hood. Is that just a plain white hood? Oh, that's a disappointing way to end this video. Well, anyway, there's my final list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hope you guys enjoyed following along. This was the final video of the off season. Technically, actually, no, I lied. I have a video coming out tomorrow before the Clash. Second to last video of the off season. Figured we could talk paint schemes. Let me know if you agree, disagree down in the comments below. Again, Power Hour presented by Circle B Diecast, a new show featuring me and Brennan Poole, debuts February 14th. Any guesses as to who our first guest is? I can't wait for y'all to find out. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I will see you again really, really soon.